Hello, welcome to the continuation of the very best of Arden and Kaye Ballard. It's just been slightly under 1 year since I did my first video, and I didn't really have a lot of people who said do another one. I think I had one or two, but I thought, well, there is one scene that I really wish I could have included, one snippet, one fragment from the very first episode that was ever done for their great series, The Mothers-in-Law. But you know, when you have a whole bunch of snippets, you can't always do everything that you want. So I'm going to do that today, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. And this is not only the first episode that America ever saw, it was the pilot. They actually did this as a film that they shopped around before they got a network that wanted the show. So I should give you a little bit of background about this, and sometimes I assume that everybody who looks at my videos knows everything but the mothers-in-law. Some of you don't, so I'll go into a little bit of a background. So Eve and her husband and Kaye and her husband, they both had one child only, and they were neighbors for years. So the kids were neighbors for years. And they fell in love eventually. So in this segment that I'm going to share with you, they're planning the wedding. And so Eve and her husband decided, well, instead of having the wedding ceremony at a church, we're going to have it in our backyard. And then Kaye and her husband, well, let's just say Kaye, her contribution was her grand piano. And maybe for slightly selfish reasons, because Kaye wanted to be the one to sing at the wedding. It took 3 moving men to move that piano from their neighboring house to Eve and her husband's neighboring house. Now, supposedly the weather was going to be absolutely beautiful, and they had nothing to worry about if the piano was stored like overnight in Eve and her husband's backyard. But things all went wrong, which you will see in this clip. So I don't think I'll say anything more now that you have this background that will speak for itself. But I really enjoyed this, and I hope you do too.
Kaye? Kaye? Here's a glass of milk you wanted.
What took you so long?
I had to close all the windows first on account of the rain.
Oh, it's raining. Raining my piano!
How about Kaye's piano?
Do something about my piano! Now, she's right. Maybe the 4 of us can move it. After all, there were only 3 moving men.
All right, we'll try. Let me get this out of the way first.
One of us on each end.
All right. That thing won't budge. Hey, you get over here. Roger and I will get on the same end.
Now, what are you doing that for?
Well, because with Roger and... Oh, never mind, because. That's why, just because.
That's the name of the song I was trying to sing. Because? Oh, I know that one. Because. That's it. You know it? Because you come to me with the same love. And hold my hand and sing my love.
What are you doing?
We're singing!
Let's move the piano or we'll be out here all night.
All right.
Come on. 1, 2. Oh, this thing's gonna be filled with cement. How those moving men ever get out of here in the first place?
They haven't Dolly.
A dolly! I had dolly! Oh, wait a minute! I know just what to get. I'll be right back.
What a rude piano!
That's perfect! Down a minute! Take it easy! Come on over now! Look out! That's it! Come on! All right! That's it! Now tip it! No, tip it! Come on! Help with you! Oh, yeah! There you go! Perfect! sopping wet, it won't budge. Wait a minute. I got an idea. We'll use my car. Come on, Ron. We'll get a rope and use this lamppost as a pulley. Come on here.
My poor piano. Kaye, did anyone ever tell you you have a neurotic attachment to that piano? Oh, really? Well, when your champagne glasses were smashed, you had something of a trauma yourself. They were the neatest glass and they belong to my grandmother. Back with the champagne glasses. Go, Saturday! All right, I'll do something. When April showers.
All right, Herb, she's all hooked up. You ready? Yeah, let's go. Take it away.
Oh, bro, it's going into the Cornell pool.
You ruined Kaye's piano. That's what happened. Good. Now she won't be able to sing at the wedding.
That's right, because it's not going to be any wedding. No wedding.
No wedding.
Huh? Dad, we have a surprise for you.
The Peasmeyers wanted to make it a double wedding, so we got married too.
Yeah, I hope you didn't go to too much trouble or anything. Oh, heavens, no. All we've done so far is put the piano in the pool.
A little bit of trivia. Desi Arnaz was the producer of this, who, Desi Arnaz from I Love Lucy, and he was married to Lucille Ball. I think the pilot was shopped around maybe 6 or 7 years after he and Lucille Ball got divorced, but he and Lucille remained good friends even afterwards, and when they had the pilot all together, it may have even sold. They invited Kaye over, and, Lucille Ball was invited over too. So it was Desi, Lucille Ball, and Kaye. They all watched this episode together. And the scene that I think is so funny, Lucille Ball didn't crack a smile at all, didn't laugh or anything. She gave zero support to Kaye Ballard about this. And with what I've seen, I did see one interview where Kaye Ballard talked about the mothers-in-law, and she said when she went to audition for the part of Kaye Buell, her character, Desi Arnaz said to her, "Now I want you to know there's no one funnier than Lucy." And she said kind of defensively, "I know that," kind of taken aback. So when you hear all that, just putting two and two together, that may be why Lucille Ball was really kind of rude and showed little supportiveness for her, like, "Don't you think for a second that you're better than me, the queen of comedy. Don't you think you're just as good as me or even better?" I kind of picked that up from the interview. Now, one other thing I will say about this, there is one scene, you can actually hear the dialogue pretty well throughout this segment, but there is one scene, the piano's lid comes crashing down and crushes Eve's champagne glasses that she had nearby, and she screams. She doesn't really say anything about that right away, she just screams, but then a little bit later, when she and Kaye, the other mother-in-law, get into a heated argument about her piano, then Kaye starts to chide her about the champagne glasses, and you can't really hear what Eve is saying about those champagne glasses unless you put your closed captions on. So if you really want to hear that, I recommend that. I'll just tell you what she was saying. She was saying that they were passed down to her from her grandmother, so they were like an heirloom, so that's why she was upset.